Against all odds, we are back here. I'm feeling a little whacked. I'm feeling a little loopy. I don't know if you can tell by my face, by the look on me, but I'm not feeling 100%. I'm not feeling anywhere close to normal. It's bad when you wake up on your friend's couch and you think it's your bed. At my friend's place, or even at mine, when us three get together, Nate, Obi, and me, the video games, the PS5, the PS4 needs to be locked up. There needs to be a child lock on it because that is what's between us and ruination. And it gets us every time. We fall for it every time. We're playing 2K golf every 3 holes for a shot. Divide 18 holes. You're taking 6 shots if you keep losing. And we're giving this guy, Nate, 2 strokes every 3 holes. And by the end of the 18, he beat us outright. That was just a look inside what happened last night. Okay. We'll move on from that because we have a job to do. Despite what happened yesterday, despite what happened just earlier today, we have a job to do. There's important things to do on this matter, and I'm the person to take care of it. What you're looking at, what you're watching right now, this rendition, this little part of entertainment, this little section of the internet that you happen to come across, this is Tea Time. And I'm your host, Tony Murr. And if you're feeling like $100, if you're feeling like $1,000,000, if you're feeling like you went to the sauna and the gym before this, if you feel like you went to the grocery store before this, if you were sleeping all the way up until this, if you fell asleep on your friend's couch, I don't care how it happened, I don't care how we ended up here, but we are officially teed up. We are officially teed up around here. This is week 18 of the Tea Time Tailgate. Tea Time Tailgate is our rendition. Hold on, I gotta wet the whistle. Full tank in here, ready to go. What the Tea Time Tailgate is our version of an NFL pregame show. You've seen it on CBS, you've seen it on Fox, but you wanted a little bit something extra. You wanted to have more fun with your NFL pregame. And what better way to do it than watch a live show? What a better way to do it to watch a live show that you can interact with? What better to watch a live show that you can interact with that can also make you money? That's the end of the day. That's the purpose of the Tea Time Tailgate, is to make you some money. We're looking at the things that other people aren't looking at in these games. We're having fun with it. We're getting your pockets lined. And at the end of the day, it's around 11:30ish. Sunday football just ended. You just go. You take a big sigh of relief just knowing that, or a sigh of satisfaction just knowing that you had the best day possible because you started it with Tony Murr and Tea Time. Your pockets were getting lined from the start to finish, and you had a smile on it. And what's a smile worth? A smile is priceless, okay? That if I can give you a priceless smile, can you put a number on that? You couldn't put a piece of currency on that. You couldn't put a dollar amount on that. That's priceless. So let's go for a couple of those today. We'll go for a couple smiles on your pretty little face, and also we'll get your pockets lined and fat. I want to tell you, you look skinny. No matter how many donuts you had before this, no matter how many slices of pizza you had at the AM, you should never, when there's an AM at the time, you shouldn't be eating pizza. Whether it's at 2 a.m. or 11 a.m., you shouldn't be eating pizza. But I want to tell you, you're not fat because of it. You're not fat because of it. You look skinny. You look skinny. This is part of the process. You might not get it right now. This is part of the process of you making me making you feel like $1,000,000 and get that smile on your face. That's how we start. We have football to talk about. We forgot about that. That is really the purpose of the show, or what this makes the Tea Time Tailgate go. It's based on the football. It starts with the football. And we're at week 18. This is the last regular season week of the year. And this is where things get wacky because really, especially this week in particular, there aren't too many games that there's a lot on the line. A lot of these teams know exactly where they're going to be in the playoffs, whether they're in or out of the playoffs. The seeding isn't going to matter too much. So you see some huge point spreads, And then you also see that, like, who the fuck's playing in this game? I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking at my FanDuel. I can't find anyone. I'm like, I like this guy. Is he even playing in this game? Who's playing in these games? Who's gonna care in these games? That's what we have to parse out here. That's what we have to figure out. And I'm gonna try to read between the lines. This is less of a football show now and more of like a Jacques Cousteau detective show where we're trying to read between the lines to see who's gonna be playing this game, who's gonna care, what are the incentives. That's a part of this too. What are the incentives for winning? What are the incentives for getting catches, getting touchdowns, getting yards? That's a part of it. Riley, congrats on that number one seed. Let's see what you do with it. I was bummed to watch that. Your defense is legit. That was the hottest team. We're talking the 49ers and the Seahawks from last night, and that's worthy talking about too, because that's starting to make the playoff picture. Those are the first games. Those are the first teams that their season's over. Their season's done. They played the last game of the season. That was their Week 18 matchup. Um, Man, so I'm bummed because I had the 49ers for a future to win that division, and I didn't think it was going to come to that last game, and it did. And they didn't look up to snuff. They were like I said, one of the hottest offense, if not the hottest offense in the NFL, and they ran into the Seahawks, who could be the best team. They could be more legit than I thought. I'm wondering where Darnold is going to drop the other shoe. I wonder where we're going to see old Darnold, what we saw in the playoffs last year, Darnold, but at least he gets a bye this time. He gets a week of delay. He's got the number one seed. He gets a week of delay for us to see playoff Darnold, and let's see who gets to play then. It's got to be a legit team at that juncture. So I mean, Seahawks, they were run the ball last night. They were run the ball well. The 49ers defense is not good, and for them to only hold them to 13 points, that's kind of that's a cause for concern on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense is legit. Their offense is a cause for concern. The 49ers do not have a good defense. And I was reading somewhere last night that because of all their injuries, they might have wanted to pick someone up at the deadline, get an edge rusher. They have no rush on the quarterback. They can't get to the quarterback at all. That's an issue. And then the other game, the earlier game, the game that we did the tea time for stream, was Bucks Panthers. Bucks won that game, but there's still more work to be done. If the Bucks just took care of business where they need to this season, there was a couple games towards the end that they should have won and lost because they couldn't close out. I'm talking about a Thursday night football game, in particular against the Falcons. They were up by a touchdown late in the game. They were driving. Baker throws an unforgivable interception, and it changes the whole complexion of the game. They lost that game, and it was a game that the Falcons had like 200 yards of penalties in. If they win that game, it doesn't come to this. They don't have, their fate would have been in their own hands yesterday. If they won that game, they would have been in the playoffs. But now they have to root for a division rival to beat another division rival, and it's like if you're the Saints. So let me just start. I'm getting into the games now. Let's start getting into the games. I mean, I can't slow play this and not give you this game first because we were just talking about it. Saints at Falcons. Falcons minus 3.5 at home. The over under is 43.5 points. So this is what I was talking about, where this game means nothing. The Falcons actually could end with the same record, end the season with the same record as the Panthers and the Bucks, but because of their head-to-head records, they're not going to win. They're not going to get into the playoffs. But they're going to have three teams. They could have three teams in the same division with the same exact record. And then it comes down to all these tiebreakers. The Saints, on the other hand, they're out of the playoffs. They've been out of the playoffs, but they are getting a little bit of juice because of this Shuck character playing quarterback. This guy, he could be offensive MVP. He came in late in the season. He looked better than anyone that they had before. They've been on a winning streak. Since he started playing, they're winning more games than they're losing, and they think they could have a guy. Everyone was wondering why they picked this guy, and he's proven to be pretty good. He's taken their team places. And they need to win this game. The Saints win this game, then the Bucks go to the playoffs. If the Falcons win this game, then the Panthers go to the playoffs. And it's weird because these are all teams within the same division. going for, like, do you try to help out your team in the same division, or do you say kind of like fuck them, we hate them, we don't want to send them to the playoffs? I think the Falcons, both these teams are actually still playing for something. And it's playing for pride, and pride will take you a lot of places. They're playing for that big P. Don't get crazy on me. Don't get weird and twisted. Playing for that big P called pride. The Saints, they're winning. They're playing for their pride and the fact that they're playing good football right now. They want to continue it, and honestly, they want to get this kid the offensive MVP. If he wins this game, he especially how McMillan played late in the season, he wins offensive MVP if they win this game. And I think they would love to do that for this kid. So that's something that they're playing for, and it's kind of making me change my pick the way I'm talking about this. Um, the Falcons, on the other hand, what they're playing for is also the big P in pride, but it's pride in the fact of Kirk Cousins. He had a little bit of a comeback this season where he's looked. The Falcons have been winning games. I think they might have won 4 or 5 games in a row, and Cousins is looking better and better, and he wants to continue his football life. I don't think he's has any plans of retiring. So I think he's trying to show that he still has a little bit left in the tank. Whether that's the Falcons to take on, whether that's another team to take on. So it's both of these quarterbacks that are going to want to win this game. So that's the reason for the over. I don't think either of these teams have great defenses. They can get scored on. The Saints get scored on by the Titans. The Falcons get scored on by everyone. I love the over in this game, 43.5. That's one that's going to be worth circling for me. So I'm going to create as I'm doing this, I'm going to create like a legger of a parlay, multiple legs of a parlay. I'm going to circle the ones that I really like as we go. We'll do that together. I wrote down Falcons -3.5, and I just convinced myself with the playing for the Big P pride in the Saints that they want to win this game. And they're playing better ball. The Falcons are playing better ball than the Saints. The Falcons are a better team than the Saints. God, I'm gonna stick with the Falcons -3.5. I don't want this to happen. This is me going against what I actually want because I had a few. We're talking futures. I've talked about my future basically every stream for the last 3 weeks that I have the Bucks to win the NFC South. So I want the Saints to win this game. I don't think they do. I think the Falcons are playing really good football right now. And I've done this almost every week, it seems like. It's always the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's because on FanDuel, they're the first team available because it's Atlanta. It's alphabetical. So I always start with the Falcons game. And I always start with a Bijan Robinson touchdown. He's definitely scored in more games than he hasn't. And it's always for like a bad number. Bijan -170. Then you just want to see something go through the uprights at the beginning of the day. And that's something that I'm debating. I don't know if I love it enough to throw it in the LARPay parlay legger. But that's a way to start your day. You can parlay that with the Falcons money line. I kind of like doing that. So, like I said, I'm doing this for the people. I don't want the Falcons to win this game at all. I'm not going to be rooting for that. So I can't root for that in any manner. But if my job is getting you paid at the end of the day, that's what I'm going with. The pastor. Let's hear what he's got to say. Hey man, need help securing my hope to be the 4th championship out of 8. I started Tech McMillan yesterday and Kittle yesterday, but I think I still did better than my opponent since he had CMC, JSN, and Jennings. I'm projected to win by 10 points. I didn't know fantasy's still going. But we know those numbers don't mean anything, especially when he has Henry, NTN, Loveland, Stafford left. Full PPR, 2 running backs, 1 receiver, 1 flex. Let's say this. And my QB is May, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Trevion. Who's Mason? Jaden Blue, Pickens, Diggs, BTJ, Parker Washington. All right, I mean, let me just, I'm looking at your team right now. Chase Brown's going to have a good day. I can see Trevion having a good day. Gibbs will have a good day. Blue will have a decent day. Pickens, I think, will have a big day. Diggs will have a big day. I think Henry on his team will have a big day. I think Etienne will have a big day. I think Stafford will have a big day. Those are pretty solid teams. I think CMC and JSN, Like, how many points did CMC, JSN, and Jennings get combined yesterday? If it's, I think it's probably under 45 points. That's a huge win. That's a huge win for you. Good luck to Pastor. Pastor, if you're not already, sub. Sub. We need the subscriber. We need the follower. We need everyone we got. And I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You're the pastor, and you're coming in on a Sunday. It's only right that I wish the pastor the best of luck. And hopefully you grace us with a little bit of luck over here, Pastor. All right, we're going to go. And there he is. There he is, a little cheeseburger for you. All right, Browns at Bengals. Bengals minus 8.5 points. The over-under is 45.5. These are two teams that aren't playing for anything, but it's an AFC North matchup. I think we got a lot of interdivision matchups to end the season. So the Big P pride is going to be in play across the board. Even though that these teams aren't playing for anything, they've been long gone from the playoffs. You got two teams that I think want to beat each other. You got two teams that I think want to win. I always when you see big point spreads, I was hearing some feedback on the headphone. That was what was confusing me. When you see the big point spreads with the interdivision matchups, I tend to go with the underdogs in this spot. I tend to go with the underdogs in this spot. Man, I do like the Browns. I like the Browns. The Bengals have been playing great recently, but they're coming against a good defense. They haven't played many good defenses. They played Miami, and then they played. Well, they just killed someone else too. The Cardinals. Yeah, they play bad defenses. This is a good defense, and I like the Browns plus 8.5 here. I've never seen over under this high for a Browns game all year. It's usually in the 30s. This is 45.5. I look at that and I say it's got to be the under. I think even though Burrow's been playing really great recently, he tends to fall down in certain spots. We saw that against the Ravens, against these interdivision matchups. I don't know. This is the second time they're playing against each other. Did Burrow play in that game, or was that? I don't know who was the quarterback for the Bengals when they first played. Let me look at that actually. I'll tell you in a second. Browns versus Bengals. They played week 1 this year, and the Bengals won by a point, and it was 17-16. Oh, I love that underplay. I love that underplay even more now. That's worth getting a circle. And this is a team that I think plays hard. This is a team that plays really hard in the first half. They can kind of quit towards the end, and it's more of like their defense saying, hey, we can't support this offense much longer. It's like that defense is like a chair with one leg left. All 3 of the other legs are broken, and everything's on that one leg. And the offense is the other 3 legs. They're broken and it's not working. It's all the way leaned against that one leg. And eventually it breaks, but it can hold together for a half. So we like the Browns plus 5.5 in the first half here. I just circled 2 more legs in the Larpay parlay. The under 45.5 and the Browns plus 5.5 first half. Those are things that I'm definitely getting going in this. In the big parlay is what I'm saying. So I got 3 picks out of those 2 games. Nice. Yeah, I think so too. Those things just tend to happen. When you can have a big moment like that, it usually just works out that way. And Burrow, I mean, he had a good answer, and they asked him about it. He's like, something about the sack record. So these are the sights and sounds between the games that you got to listen to see what's going to happen and get you paid because of it. And Burrow, in an interview, they were asking him about the Myles Garrett sack record possibly going against him, and he said, admittedly, he's like, he might get I'm not going to be trying to avoid the sack for him to not get the record. If it happens, it happens. And being the good quarterback that he is, he says sometimes that's the best outcome within a game. And he's right. Sometimes you got to take a sack instead of throwing a crazy ball up in the air like you see some of these other guys do. Geno Smith as the first one to come to mind. So I don't think he's going to be avoiding it. I can see that sack happening. I want it to. I know, you're right. That's a great game. Oh, man, I'm nervous about that. I'm nervous. All right, we're going Cowboys at Giants. Giants +3 at home, over under 49.5. I wonder if all these games are interdivision, but that's the NFC East right there. The Cowboys, Giants, they've been knocked out of the playoffs for a while. The Cowboys are the kings of not playing for anything. When nothing's on the line, they look like the best team in the world, and they're going to convince you that we're going to be back for next season. I can imagine them wanting to win this game badly. The Giants are bad. The Giants are a bad football team. Jackson Dart has everyone confused. They think they found the guy. They did not. If you can't stay on the field for a full 16, 17 game season as a quarterback, you are not a good quarterback. I'm sorry. The best ability for a quarterback is availability. And the fact that he was in and out of concussion protocol so many times, and that's what makes him a good player, is because he's going out and running. But that's not going to last. You see it all over the league. If you cannot start, if you're missing games as a quarterback, your team's not going to be good. So I think Dart and the Giants have everyone confused. There was I think I saw online last night. This just came back to me. The tight end for the for the Giants. He said he was sick and he missed some practice or something, but he was seen at the Knicks game, and then the GM called him and basically reamed him out. And I mean it's a horrible look. You're gonna go. That's also so stupid. You're going to the Knicks game. Everyone's gonna see you there. Everyone's gonna know that you're there. So dumb. I like but going back to this game, I like the Cowboys in this game. I like them a lot. Um, and this is where I started looking for prop bets, and I couldn't friggin' find them. We got to see if they're listed now, because there's things in within this game that I need. Like, they're surefire, and the fact that they don't allow you, it's so. Let me make my picks first, and then get into this. We got the Cowboys -3. I love the over 49.5 this game. I think both these teams suck at defense. They're both going to be trying really hard. The Cowboys are going to be trying a little bit harder. George Pickens is going to get in the end zone today. George Pickens is going to get 80 yards. Hold on. So we got to I'm looking at the FanDuel app. There's multiple books that you can go to. Please tell me if this is available somewhere. We're going to go to the Cowboys Giants game. I hate that I'm even giving them a plug, because this should be, just because you don't feel comfortable giving the lines out, you're not going to give it to us. This is probably week 18 is probably the easiest week to win in the NFL, because you just have to align what everyone's incentives are, what everyone's going for, their ulterior motives, whether it's to get 80 yards, whether they're playing for a contract next year. That all plays into this, and there's stuff that you can look at and know. And the fact that they're not giving us these props is a concern, and because this is malpractice. This is malpractice by FanDuel, all these other books not allowing for this, because we can actually win, and they take it away from us when we can. Unreal. It's still not available. It's still not available. I'm looking at it now. That's so ridiculous. So we're gonna motherfuck these guys every time I want to do something I can't. I'm doing Pickens. This is an incentive, or this is for him to get 1,500 yards receiving. He needs 80 yards. He's going to have a huge game today. He's going to have a touchdown today. Pickens, TD, and yards. I'm gonna be looking. I'm gonna be scouring this from now to the start of the games. But if they don't allow for this, if they don't give us this option, it's a travesty. He's playing in this game. They know that. Everyone knows that. They had like a report beforehand. That pisses me off. That pisses me off. I love the Cowboys here, though. I love the Cowboys. We're making one pick. It's the Cowboys. All right, we're moving on to the next one. Packers, Vikings, interdivision. Interdivision. That is the theme of today. And I think those are the only type of games being played. I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. It is Packers at Vikings. How you doing? How are you, Packers versus Vikings? Nice to see you. I hope you have a blessed Sunday. Name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That was me blessing this game, because it's going to be terrible. It's going to be awful. This is another game where who the fuck's playing in this game? Because oftentimes I look at FanDuel to see who's even playing in this game, and I look at FanDuel, I click on this game, and I'm going passing props. They're only showing J.J. McCarthy. They're only showing J.J. McCarthy available. I don't think Jordan Love's playing. Is it Malik Willis? Malik Willis has been great. He's been great. Who's playing in this game? The Packers aren't playing for anything apparently. I think they're stuck in that seed. The Vikings have been out of the playoffs. This. I think JJ McCarthy's going to be trying very hard in this game. I think it's going to be Malik Willis at least a little bit. I like the over at 36 and a half here. Uh, that is the third over I'm taking in 4 games, I realize. But 36 and a half, these are teams that are going to be trying. Who's going to be the quarterback of the Packers? Who's going to be the quarterback of the Packers? I don't like that over pick. Is it going to be Malik Willis? I need to look this up. Let's look this up together. All right. Who's playing QB for the Packers today? I'm actually doing it because you can hear the typing. That's nice. Clayton Tune, the Tunester, getting in there for the Packers. Okay, so that's why they don't got the Clayton Tune props. I don't like this over 36 and a half anymore. I want to be able to make a pick on every single one of these games, but I can't just screw you over because this is so wacky. The spreads plus I don't even know if I said this yet. The Vikings are minus 12 and a half at home. The over-under is 36 and a half. Clayton Tune's the starting quarterback for the Packers. I don't know. I'm taking the Packers plus 12 and a half. And who the frick is Clayton Tune? Who the frick is Clayton Tune is what I'm wondering. I don't even want to have a pick this game because I really don't know what to expect. Oh, there we go. Riley's in there. He knows ball. He says Clayton Tune. My pick, I had the over 36 and a half, and I had the Packers plus 12 and a half. This is a game that I think, so this is me trying to convince myself of any sort of pick. This is a game where Matt LaFleur, he still likes showing off his coaching muscles. If you can show off your muscles coaching, it's when you got Clayton Tune as your starting quarterback. That's when he goes into his bag when he's got Malik Willis going. You see your best LaFleur when you see these backup quarterbacks going in because he still wants to figure out how can I win with this guy in the game. It's a similar to Shanahan. It doesn't matter if it's Mac Jones, Brock Purdy. Both of them are going in there and winning because this is a well-coached team. And these guys are so competitive and they want to keep their mind sharp. They're not going to take a week off. They probably consider it a blessing every week that they get to be a head coach in the NFL. So they're still going to be going hard for this game. They're still going to be wanting to win. The competitive nature of it, no matter if it's first string or third string, for an interdivision matchup, this is too many points. I'm going to go plus 12 and a half for the Packers. My one and only pick this game. I don't love it. But you might think I loved it based on how I said it. I didn't love it. So far in my parlay that we're building, we have 4 total picks. Let me keep it going. Titans. So 6-3 final score in that game, Riley says. So he likes the under. Take with that what you will. All right, Titans at Jaguars. Jaguars minus 13 and a half at home, over under 46 and a half. This is the first game that I've said that there is a team playing for. Well, no, the Packers are. I think they're just stuck in their seeding. The Jags are actually playing for something. They're playing their starters. So this is the first game that we're seeing of this kind. Let me say what the Jaguars are playing for. They're playing for the AFC South. This is for the AFC South 1 seed to win their division. If they lose and the Texans win, the Texans will be the 1 seed. I really don't think there's any shot the Jaguars lose this game, though. I'm also saying that because I have the Jaguars to win the AFC South. That is another one of my future bets. I told you about the Buccaneers. I told you about the 49ers. I told you about the Jaguars. And I'll get you to the actual team that has won it already for my future. But yeah, Jaguars, they're going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game big in the first half. They're going to pour it on in the first half, and then their starters are not going to finish off this game. You won't see Trevor Lawrence in the fourth quarter, hopefully. I like the Titans plus 13 and a half. They're still fighting. They're a bad team, but they're at least fighting and clawing and punching. They're throwing punches still. They've been knocked to the ground about every single round. Every time they play football, they get knocked to the ground. They're out at about a 9 count. The ref gave up 8, 9, and then they get up and they grab his hands. You good? You good? Oh, and then they let them go. The ref wants to see carnage when they let the Titans get on the football field. But they're still fighting. Like I said, they're still getting up. They're still punching the bag. I'm gonna go Titans plus 13.5 on this one. I also like the over because of that fighting nature. Jaguars scored a ton of points in the first half. I bet they score at least 3 touchdowns. And then the Titans probably have at least 3 touchdowns in the second half. And then find your way in between there. Find your way in between there. That's 42 points accounted for. 3 touchdowns for the Titans in the second half. 3 touchdowns for the Jaguars in the first half. And then you just need one more touchdown to get it done, and that's gonna happen. I think. All right, so I'm well convinced now. I'm well convinced that's added to the parlay over 46.5 for the Jaguars Titans game. And then, oh, I love this too because, like I said, it's going down. We're talking about that big P, the pride. Cam Ward is playing for his pride. He's wanting to show that, okay, are we capable? Or can we play some football in Tennessee? He wants to see a little bit of something from this team. And he's going to put his energy and respect into it and some enthusiasm and charisma over 191 and a half passing yards for Ward. Throw that in there as well. When you can find a prop to do today, do it. Because not a lot of these players are listed. It's a problem. I'm going to be on their ass from now until the game starts at 1 o'clock. But the fact that they don't allow for that is, they're showing their hand, and it's ugly. They're showing their face, and it's ugly. They're pulling the mask off. We're seeing them for what they are, and they're scoundrels over at FanDuel, over at DraftKings. You name it. The fact that this isn't available, travesty. You want to get your people paid. You want to have your people win every so often. Smack you the side of the head. All right. We're going to move on to the other AFC South matchup. Colts at Texans. Texans minus 9.5. Over-under is 38.5 points. Philly Rivs, he's calling it quits. We've seen the last of Philly Rivs in the NFL. We got Riley Leonard playing in this one. I liked the Colts' chances if they had Philly Rivs in there. And I don't know really why they're not doing it. Probably because the Texans' defense would actually kill him. That would be endangerment. That would be elder abuse if they threw him in this game. So I actually completely understand why they did that now. They got Riley Leonard going in there. I liked their chances with Phil. I don't like it with Riley. Sorry, no offense to you, Riley, but I don't like your brother Riley Leonard over in Indianapolis. So I got the Texans to win minus 9.5. They're gonna be trying to win this game. If they win this game, Jaguars lose, they get the 1 seed. The games are going on at the same time, so I think they're going to be pushing. And I don't think Riley Leonard's that good. I don't think the Colts are that good. They were 8-2, and they're about to lose 7 games in a row to miss the playoffs. They were once considered the best team in the NFL. Funny how the tables turn on that one. Danny Jones, I feel sorry for you, man. It was your season. It was your renaissance, and it got cut short because of an injury. I hope you come back, man. Good luck. So we're going Texans minus 9.5 on this, and I'm gonna go Texans minus 6.5 in the first half as well. A lot of these I feel like first half bets where you got a team that's wanting to win against a shitty team. I'm liking that first half bet. I'm gonna get that Texans in there. The problem is for the Texans, their defense is amazing. Their offense is a huge issue. They can't score points sometimes. You know what I don't like? I don't like that. I'm putting an X near it. I'm not adding that. We're going from the 1 o'clock slate to the 4 o'clock slate. I always like to leave a little sentiment with my people, with the tea timers, anyone who's watching the Tea Time Tailgate, about how you switched from the 1 o'clock to the 4 o'clock slate. If you're me and you had a late night last night, if you're feeling a little bit less than 100%, you're going to want to taper off at this point. You're going to have maybe a little bit of wacky and loopy energy from 1 to 4. Once that sun starts to go down, your eyes are going to want to shut. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to keep your wits about you. Know that the season is coming to an end. This is the last regular season game in the NFL for this season. We do have playoffs, but these days are numbered. So let's get it for what it's worth. do it for what it's worth and point in the right direction and say, pick yourself up, Sonny. But let's do this for another couple hours. Do what you need to do in the meantime. I think you might want to stuff your face. You might want to get a lot of food in your tummy. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Or you can do it, but pace yourself. Don't go full crazy. Anything that you want to order, say, should I really have this while the sun's out? Wait till later in the day to really pig out and get dirty and nasty with it. For now, you can be okay and just maybe get like what could do it? A chicken Caesar wrap that will that will get some hankerings or cure some hankerings, but it's not full blown gross. That's kind of appealing to me at the moment. So the first game in this 4:30 slate, Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders plus 4.5 points at home. Over under 36.5 points. This was another one where I'm looking at this and thinking, I'm looking at this game and thinking, who's playing quarterback for the Raiders? And because I'm looking at the FanDuel and I don't see Geno Smith listed. Let me see this. Who's playing QB for the Raiders today? A lot of lookups in this year. Kenny Pickett is expected to start for Los Angeles. And it's not even Los Angeles, it's Las Vegas. Um, okay, yeah, it's no. Kenny Pickett and Aiden O'Connell. I like Aiden O'Connell. I do not like Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett stinks. He really does. Oh, I love the over in this one though. Yes, this is confirmed. I love this. Let's see this. Hold on. Too much reading. I should have stuck with the first line. Kenny Pickett is starting quarterback, and also they're throwing Aiden O'Connell. I love the over in this game. They got Oladukin playing quarterback for the Chiefs. He looked halfway decent on Christmas Day. I liked what he was cooking with. I liked the style that he was playing with. I liked what Oladukin had to do. So I would I would go with the Duke in there. I'd go with the Duke in. Over 36.5 points. Just cause. Just cause. The Raiders defense stinks. They're sitting all their major players. I can see the Chiefs scoring three touchdowns. I can see the Chiefs scoring three touchdowns. They get 21-17. 21-17. That's how the Raiders cover. And all see that this is how you're gonna play it out in your head. You gotta build it up like a cake. You don't just have a cake. The cake's got layers to it. You start with the actual base of the cake, frosting, more cake, frosting. You've got to build it one at a time. So that's how I build this for you. Over 36.5 of this. Kenny Pickett, Aiden O'Connell, Oladukin. You got all of them in the mix. You don't actually bet on a side here. Anything that has happened in Chiefs Raiders games does not apply to this game because who's playing quarterback for both of these teams. But I like one of these quarterbacks to get into the end zone. I like him. He tends to run the ball around. He'll be going this way, going that way. I think he gets a touchdown. The Dukin to get a touchdown, plus 360 on that. Um, I do remember that. You wonder when a quarterback's wearing two gloves, Riley, you can assume this guy's not the best. You can assume that he's not franchise quarterback level. Oh, here we go. I actually love this is a game that you get paid on. This is a game that you get paid on. I've been all over the Pats the past couple weeks. This is a game that you get paid on. Listen up. Dolphins at Pats. Pats minus 13.5. Over under 45.5. Mike Vrabel is the new head coach of the Patriots, if you haven't noticed. He used to play for the New England Patriots. Fun fact. So, any team that the Patriots used to hate, which are all their division opponents, he is instilling that hatred into this new look and young Patriots team that has been lacking pride the past couple of years. That's why we killed the Jets the other day. That's why we're going to want to murder the Dolphins today. We're playing for the number one seed. If the Broncos lose, sorry, if the Broncos lose and we win, we get the number one seed. And the Broncos are also playing in this 4:30 slate. If the Broncos were playing in the 1 o'clock slate and we already knew they won, I don't know if the Patriots even try this game. I don't even know if you see Drake May get in here. But at the Broncos playing at the same time as the Patriots, who are both going for the number one seed, we're going to be trying for a half of football. That's the key word. That's the key time period. We're going to be trying for a half of football because Vrabel is such a good coach that he's instilling in his guys. I don't want you scoreboard watching. Leave that up to me. I will coach this game depending on how that's going. No, he would never say that. But he said, let me scoreboard watch. We're going out there and competing and going as hard as we can for as long as I say so. So that Vrabel got a little creepy and weird in that speech, but if the guys were focused, they know what he was actually saying. He was referring to football, nothing of the perverted type, okay? Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy there. But what I'm going to say, what I'm going to continue to say is that Vrabel is coaching up his guys in a way that they're going to be trying for a half of football. They are going to be going for the number one seed, and then what might happen at halftime, they look at the Broncos game, they're winning by 2 touchdowns. I don't even think that's going to necessarily do it. I think we're going to see the Pats try for at least 2 or 3 quarters, especially if this Bronco game's close. Play close attention to that. So I'm going Pats minus 7.5 the first half. We're going to pour it on. The Miami defense is not good. They're going to be playing for a little bit of pride as well, but we're such a better football team than them. We're such a better football team, and Vrabel is going to want to murder them. So that's a part of this. Patriots minus 7.5 in the first half. Patriots minus 2.5 for the first quarter. We also start out hot in games. And then this is something that you didn't get this from me, but however much money you have set aside for a rainy day, this is the rainy day play. This is the rainy day fund that you throw onto this bet. Diggs over 4.5 catches. That is the easiest thing, and because of this, he gets a $500,000 bonus if he gets 8 more grabs today. This is why they're not allowing us to bet on these prop bets because of all these incentives at play. And that's bullshit out of them. That's bullshit out of these books that they won't allow for this. But they got Diggs in there. Diggs over 4.5 grabs. If you don't do that, you can go live in the middle of nowhere where you become a monk and money doesn't mean anything to you. Because that's what you're saying for me. If you're saying that, I'll say, go find peace. Go find peace somewhere because my peace is with these Diggs catches at the moment. We're moving on to the next game. We still got a lot of games, holy crap. Cardinals at Rams, NFC West matchup. Rams minus 14.5, over under 47.5 points. I mean, what the fuck are they even playing for? The Cardinals are becoming worse and worse as this goes. Everyone gets so excited about Brissett at first, and then they realize who he is, and that's just not even a good backup. He's got like a little bit of juice, basically. If you have Brissett for 2 games, that's perfect. Anything over 2 games, you're going to see what Jacoby Brissett actually is, and it's not a starting quarterback. But they continue to roll him out there, and they don't want to play that guy Kyler. It's a weird situation going on in Arizona. Minus 14.5 is so much. I don't like that in an interdivision matchup. The Rams are going to want to pour it on at first because I think they're still playing for something. Are the Rams playing for seeding today? They're going to be the number 5 seed if they win. You absolutely want to win this game. You absolutely want to get that 5 seed because that 5 seed plays the 4 seed, which is either the Panthers or the Bucks, the worst team that's going to make the playoffs this year. So you want that 5 seed. So what I thought is going to be true, Rams are going to pour it on. The Rams are going to pour it on in the first half. Rams minus 7.5 first half. That's going in the parlay. That's definitely. I'm going back because I need the Patriots to be a part of it too. Patriots, and then that Diggs. Oh, we're building it. We're building up a table and tearing down the wall. Christ, is our voice. There's room for us all. That's a little shout out to St. John's Prep. And we're feeling holy. It's Sunday. We're feeling holy. It's Sunday. All right, we're going. Yeah, I already X'd out that. Sorry. Just making sure I got my P's and Q's in order. All right. This is a little bit about me. It's not all. It's like 90% about you, 10% about me. So the Rams poured it on in the first half, -7.5 in the first half. We loved that bet. We circled that bet because of how much we love it. When we love bets so much, we put it in a comfy little circle where it feels tight and secure. Jacoby Brissett to throw over 240 passing yards. I wrote that down, and I don't like it anymore. I don't like it anymore. We're not going to do that bet. But we're also going to do the over 24.5 points in the first half for the game. Not just for one team or the other. Over 24.5 points in the first half. Throw that in there. Lions at Bears. Bears -3.5. Over under 50.5. Talk about a big P pride game right here. This is Dan Campbell going against his ex-head coach or his ex-OC. And everyone's wondering, is Ben Johnson actually the guy? Is he more of the guy than Dan Campbell is? I think Dan Campbell is the guy. He is the guy in Detroit. But two things can happen at the same time. I think Dan Campbell is a great head coach, great leader of men. I think Ben Johnson is proving to be one of the best coaches in the NFL. Great schematically, great strategy, and it seems like he gets his guys focused. This Bears team is totally different with him at the helm, with him steering the ship. He's got them focused. He's got them looking in the right direction. I've been very impressed with him. I think he should win Coach of the Year. Lions at Bears. The Lions in this game. So the Bears are still playing for seeding. They want to get the 2 seed. And they do so with the win, I'm pretty sure. The Lions, this is an interdivision matchup, as with every game today. But the Lions in particular, the Lions in this spot, they got embarrassed on Christmas Day, and that is sitting in their mouth still. They want to show that they're still a good football team. This is going to be a high-flying game. Well, I kind of take that back because these are two coaches that like to run the ball. On the Lions side, they haven't really been able to run the ball because of lack of an offensive line play. We got Lions +3.5 in this one. I like them to be able to show a little pride, show that they still have something. They're going to be back next season. The Bears could still win this game, but the Lions are going to be playing hungry. But for how many weeks have people said that? For how many weeks the Lions are going to be playing hungry? The Lions are going to be playing hungry, and they're just playing with their food. They're not even eating. They're fake hungry. They're like a little dog whimpering near its food, like and it's not eating. You're wondering what's wrong. I thought you were hungry, but you haven't been hungry. Now I'm kind of my dialogues have been throwing off my picks. I'm going with the Bears. Fuck that. Bears. -3.5. Now I want to go back. Because it didn't feel good. But that's how you know you're on to something. Bears -3.5. And then we're going over Goff passing touchdowns. Over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Goff. I like that one a lot. I think there's going to be... I almost said it again, but I don't know. I'm going to leave you with that. I had a different thought when I was writing this down, and now I'm flipping. That thought. It could be a run game. I'm seeing a run game happening. But do they play that style of ball? I think they might have to. Let me see what the weather in Chicago is. In Chicago. Today. Weather in Chicago. 29 degrees, mostly sunny. Yeah, that ain't bad. That ain't necessarily just run the ball weather. I'm gonna give you that, Jared. I'm gonna stay with that Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I changed my pick. Official pick the Bears -3.5. I'm gonna go with the Goff touchdown still. Chargers at Broncos. Broncos -13.5. Over-under is 37.5. This is the game that I was mentioning earlier where the Broncos are playing for the number 1 seed. They're going against a in-division opponent, but they're sitting all their starters. And rightfully so. I think they can still change their seeding, the Chargers, but I don't think they're caring about that. They're caring more about the health of their guys. And I'm not sure if that's really the play, honestly. I think you want to be able to keep the momentum for your team. But that's what they decide, and who am I to question Harbaugh? He's a great coach. But if things shake out the way that they should, where the Broncos win this game, they're the number 1 seed, the Pats are the 2 seed, we're gonna play the Chargers. Do you really want to play us Chargers? That is the team that I would want to play the most out of all the teams that could possibly or be in the AFC playoffs. That's the team I want to play the most if I'm the Patriots. So this is a game where, all right. So we're talking about pride. We're talking about that big P. You know who's going to have a lot of that P is the starter, the backup who is the starter today. It's Trey Lance. He's playing for his football life today. There are football lives on the line. He was a high draft pick. I think he was like 3 overall. And he basically has not even played a lick of starting football in the NFL because he's been known to be ass. But we look back. We look back. This is important context. This is important context to earlier this season and what tea time is and what tea time remembers. The first NFL game we did this season was before the regular season started. It was the NFL Hall of Fame game in August. That's the type of shit that you do in August. You do a Hall of Fame game. Trey Lance started that game, and he looked halfway decent. This is another coaching job where Harbaugh is such a competitor and he wants to do right by his guys that he's going to get Trey Lance into the right position and make him look like a good football player. Because I bet for you to be on Harbaugh's team, he's got to have a liking to you. He's got to know that you have a little bit of dog in you. So he's going to do right by Trey Lance and make him look all right this game. I like the Chargers to cover 13.5 points. The Broncos don't beat anyone by that many points. I'm circling that. Even when they're going to be trying, but it's a game where the Chargers are going to be playing completely loose. They're playing for nothing. The Broncos, on the other hand, they're just knowing that we should beat this team. I feel I can see a little bit of playing with their food aspect in this one. They should beat this team. The game's going to be closer than it should be the whole time, but they are dominating. They have the ball more. They're looking like the better team, but they don't win by a full 2 touchdowns. Trey Lance over passing touchdowns. This is one that I wrote down. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. I don't think they're going to have it. I don't think they're going to have it. What am I looking for? Chargers. Give me some Trey Lance. Passing props. Only Bo Nix is available. This is horseshit. This is absolute horseshit. We know who's starting in this game. Why wouldn't you give that to me? That's absolute. That's bogus. That's bogus, and that's a huge issue. Um, if you can find it, if you got any dirt and rotten and devious ways to find this on your book, been with your buddy, and your buddy's got a little something going on the side, I don't care what it is. Get Trey Lance. I bet it's like over 0.5 or some shit. Get him over on his passing touchdowns. He's going to throw 2 today. And then like an RJ Harvey, Cortland Sutton parlay for touchdowns plus 416 on that. The Broncos are going to win this game. The Broncos are going to score at least 3 touchdowns at this game. And you give it to your guys when you're playing against the 2s. Simple as that. Jets at Bills. Bills minus 10.5 at home. Over under 37.5 points. Bills are playing for seeding as well. They're going to want to win this game. This is another thing. All right, so it already moved. It was 10.5 30 minutes ago. It's 11.5 now. That's unbelievable. They don't have any props available for this game. Josh Allen is going to score a touchdown. They are going to score so many points. It's going to be ridiculous. The team that the Jets have been putting on the field recently has been a Pop Warner style and level of talent on that team. They are so bad. Everyone is giving up on this in that building, and the guys that they have playing are horrible. So this is the Josh Allen touchdown. If you can find that, please do it. It's ridiculous that is not available. He's playing in this game. He's also got a banged up foot / ankle. Something to pay attention to going into the playoffs. I'm a little scared for my. I'm a Pats fan. I want the Pats to win. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. I think the Bills are a Super Bowl team. Like I'm saying this, and like the Pats are such a better team than the Bills. They just have Josh Allen, and if Josh Allen's not 100%, basically I'm getting at the fact that I had a future for the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Not looking like it's gonna happen. All right, we're still going in this game. like I said, Josh Allen touchdown is not available. You can't bet on the over under. They'll let you do that. Over 37.5 points. They're going to score. The Bills can score 4 touchdowns in this first half. It's going to be ridiculous. Over 20.5 in the first half. I love that bet. I love that bet. And the Bills minus 6.5 in the first half. I love that bet too. I love that bet too. Two more games. Two more games. I gotta tell my guys something. All right, so that was me doing a public service to people. All right, going to the next game. Commanders at Eagles. Eagles minus 3.5. Over under 38.5. I think they're still playing for. I don't. Are they playing for seeding? No, they're going to be the 3 seed. I don't think they're even playing for anything. Yeah, because McKee's starting this game. Tanner McKee. That's who we like in this, though. Tanner McKee to throw for over 1.5 passing touchdowns. This guy's pretty good, and they like to have him ball out a little bit. So I like Tanner McKee to throw for 2 touchdowns. I got the Eagles to win this one just because I like Tanner McKee, and they got the triple backup, the backup playing for the Redskins, the Commanders. Sorry, I just said Redskins. Don't cancel me. Sorry. Um, Thinking, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we got the triple backup in for the Commanders. They're done. The Eagles are a better team. They're a better coach team. They're gonna they're gonna win this game, and they cover those points. I like Tanner McKee too. I like Tanner McKee. Sorry, lost my train of thought that game. Ravens at Steelers. Sunday Night Football. Last game of the regular season. The best game of the day. Save the best for last. I love that game. Ravens at Steelers. Steelers plus 3.5 at home. Over under 41.5 points. Man, it's as good of a time to. No, it's not as good of a time. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, but that's kind of a prelude. I know this spot. I'm familiar with this spot. The the Steelers being underdogs at home. The Steelers being counted out. They had a terrible loss against the terrible Browns last week, playing the Browns in the freezing cold in Cleveland as a division rival late in December. That's always a tough game. Anyone who's played them will say that's a tough game, no matter their record, no matter how bad they are. I think what always happens is right when the Steelers are counted out, right when you think they're not going to do it, right when you think they're a shitty football team, they show you they're pretty good. They don't show you that they're great. They show you that they're pretty good. They're somewhere in the middle. The Ravens have not been a good football team this year. They cannot get. They're almost like the Buccaneers yesterday, where they can't do the right things towards the end of the game to win. They do all those things wrong. They can't close out games, and that's been in their DNA for so long. Even though you think about the Ravens, you think about when they're at their peak, how good Lamar is, how good Derrick Henry is. Those guys are great, but when Lamar is not at 100%, which he is right now, they're a totally different team. And there's something weird brewing in there. The fact that even Lamar's got to answer questions to there's something going on in the locker room, he's not showing up to meetings. There's always something weird going on with Lamar, and he misses a lot of practices. It's just it's a weird feel in Baltimore, and I don't know if that relationship is strained. I don't know if it's going to continue. I don't know what happens to Harbaugh. Something might happen to Harbaugh if he loses this game. What I think is I think it's a simple equation where you look at the Ravens last week, they looked great. They scored a ton of points. Derrick Henry had 4 touchdowns. You look at the game last week, Steelers looked horrible. They couldn't beat the Browns. And just the fact that Mike Tomlin, as a dog at home, you got to take the Steelers plus 3.5. Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns too. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. The over under is 41.5. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one. I like the over in that one too. Um, time to wrap up the show. Time up to wrap week 18 of Tea Time Tailgate. And I got to do it this way. I got to do it this way. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in with my mortal lock. Last mortal lock of the season, at least of the regular season. So let me get serious with you all. Taking off my glasses for this one because I need to tell something directly to your face and I need to be so serious about it. Oh, what am I even doing? I didn't even have the tea time tail got. Oh my god, that's a little bit of a mishap. But hold on, we'll get that fixed up. This is my record so far this season. Actually, I need to change that because I didn't update it from last week. I'm probably at a 48%, losing little bit more than I'm winning. Tough when you make this many picks. The mortal locks. Let me make an update on that because it's pissed me off. It's pissed me off. We got the Tea Time Tailgate record going from the mortal lock record 10-5 to 10-6. It was really hot at the beginning of the season, and it's tapered off. We lost last week. It was not a good pick last week. What did I have last week for my mortal? It was one that it was the Panthers. It was the Panthers. Didn't get anything done there. Okay. We forget about last week. Last week was last week. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the here and now. I'm talking about the wait all day for Sunday night. You know where I'm going with this. Mike Tomlin as a dog at home. I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't care who's quarterback. I don't care who's running back. I don't care who they're playing. Actually, I do a little bit because if it's in division, even more. You got Tomlin as a dog at home. That equation means you bet the Steelers no matter how bad you feel about it, no matter how wrong it feels, no matter how bad they looked last week, no matter how good the Ravens looked the week before. I don't care about that. The Steelers plus 3.5 is the final mortal lock of the Tea Time Tailgate for the regular season. I'm going to throw that stipulation out there because there might be more. I want there to be more. I'm not exactly what the Tea Time Tailgate looks like when there's just playoffs, but it's going to look like something. Let's finish the season off strong. Let's do the right thing at the right time with the right people. Me and you. Steelers plus 3.5 tonight. Mortal lock. Let me test this out. It's the Tea Time guarantee. The Tea Time guarantee. The mortal lock. That is going to be the Steelers plus 3.5. Riley, I believe me what I say. Believe me what I say. And that's not even necessarily that they'll win. I do think they're going to win. I do think they're going to win tonight. So that is it for a Tea Time Tailgate. It was a great season. I had so much fun. This was the first rendition of the Tea Time Tailgate. So I think it just keeps getting bigger and better from here. I appreciate all of you for following along this year. We had some good picks. Hopefully I made you some money and you knew, okay, this is a good one because of how Tony Murr said it. I'm going to be back for the playoffs. I'm still going to be doing my streams during the games. I just don't know what the tailgate's going to turn into because instead of talking about 15 games, there's 5. There's 4. 2 games within a day. So we'll figure something out. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but we will be back and it will be good. And that I'll promise you. Until then, until next time, I think, yeah, when am I coming back? We will see.